Have you ever felt that the very air around you conspires to reject you, to highlight your every flaw, leaving you stranded in a maze of self-doubt? If you nodded, even slightly, I ask you to stay with me. Today, we venture into the shadowy corridors of avoidant personality disorder, a condition that whispers lies about your worthiness, isolates you, and steals the connections that make life rich. But let me assure you, this is not a dirge of despair. Oh no, this is a story, a winding tale of understanding, wit, and most importantly, hope. A tale that seeks to uncover the masks avoidance wears and the keys to unlock the doors it seals. Shall we begin? Imagine, if you will, a small bird perched at the edge of a vast open field. The bird longs to soar, to explore, to sing its song. But each time it spreads its wings, it remembers a storm, a predator, or the branch that once gave way. And so it stays, yearning for the skies, yet fearing them. This, my friends, is the essence of avoidant personality disorder, a constant pull between the desire for connection and the fear of rejection. It's not laziness nor arrogance, as some might hastily judge. No, it's a fortress built brick by brick, not for vanity but for survival. Consider the first clue: isolation. Those with this condition often retreat from the world, not because they disdain it, but because they fear it. Social situations feel like tight ropes stretched over a canyon of judgment, each misstep a potential plunge into humiliation. Let me tell you of a man I once knew. Let's call him Arthur. Arthur was brilliant, a mind like a finely tuned instrument, but he spent his days alone in a cluttered apartment, surrounded by books and half-finished projects. Invitations to gatherings lay unopened on his desk. When asked why he wouldn't join, he'd smile faintly and say, "I wouldn't know what to say." The truth, Arthur didn't believe he deserved a seat at anyone's table. His isolation wasn't a choice, it was a shield. Yet behind that shield, loneliness festered like a wound. Now, let us examine the second clue: difficulty forming and maintaining relationships. Imagine knowing deep down that you have much to give: love, kindness, wit, but fearing that every attempt will be met with ridicule or rejection. Those with avoidant tendencies often admire others from afar. They may even long to be close to someone. But the moment intimacy beckons, a voice inside whispers, what if they see the real you? What if they leave? And so they pull back, leaving relationships shallow or fleeting. It's a cruel paradox, isn't it? To desire love yet run from it, to crave connection yet sabotage it. But remember, this behavior is not born of malice. It is born of fear. Ah, self-esteem. What a fragile thing it is. For those with avoidant personality disorder, self-esteem is not merely low, it is buried. They see themselves as unworthy, inadequate, inferior. They measure their worth by their perceived flaws and find themselves wanting. Let me paint a picture. Picture a young woman, Sarah, standing in front of a mirror. She's dressed for a job interview, but her reflection glares back at her with contempt. "You'll make a fool of yourself," it sneers. "Why bother?" And so, Sarah doesn't go. Another opportunity lost, another brick added to her fortress of avoidance. This self-loathing, my friends, is not a harmless quirk. It is a thief, robbing people of their dreams, their relationships, their potential. Perhaps the most defining hallmark is the fear of rejection. It's not the ordinary trepidation we all feel before a first date or a big meeting. No, this is a paralyzing dread, a certainty that rejection is not just possible but inevitable. This fear drives avoidance. It whispers that safety lies in the shadows, in silence, in staying small. But in doing so, it chains people to a life half-lived. It's like standing at the edge of a dance floor, yearning to join but fearing the misstep that will draw laughter. And what of emotions? those vivid, messy things that connect us as humans. For the avoidant, emotions are treacherous. Expressing them feels like handing over ammunition to an enemy. Vulnerability is a risk they are unwilling to take. Think of the last time you poured your heart out to someone. Now imagine if every time you did, you were met with scorn or indifference. It's no wonder the avoidant learns to suppress, to lock their feelings away in an airtight box. Yet in doing so, they deprive themselves of the catharsis, the healing that comes with being truly seen. But here's the twist in our tale. Avoidance is not a life sentence. It is a challenge, yes, but one that can be met with courage and care. The first step is often the hardest. Seeking help. A skilled therapist becomes a guide, a mirror, a steady hand on the shoulder. They help the avoidant unpack their fears, their past traumas, their distorted beliefs about themselves and others. Next comes self-care, a term that sounds trite but is profoundly powerful. Sleep, nutrition, exercise. These are not luxuries. They are lifelines. And small victories, my friends, are the seeds of great change. Perhaps today it's a smile at a stranger. Tomorrow a conversation. Each step builds confidence, like bricks in a new, healthier foundation. And finally, patience. Oh, how we undervalue it in this fast-paced world. Progress is not linear. There will be setbacks, days when fear wins. But each small act of bravery, each moment of vulnerability, is a triumph. Let me leave you with this. The walls that protect can also imprison. But even the tallest walls can crumble when met with persistence and compassion, both for others and oneself. So, my dear friends, if you or someone you know struggles with avoidance, remember, there is no shame in fear, only in surrendering to it. Seek the help you need, take the steps you can, and never forget, you are worthy of love, connection, and the full, messy, beautiful experience of life. Until we meet again, tread softly, live bravely, and know that even in the darkest corners of the maze, there is always a way out. Always.